In the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he was looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories. And he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor, but it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, and coming to you live from the 8th floor. I am the unusual suspect, and today we have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Logan, DJ, producer, label owner. He might even be a notary public, I don't know, but he's got a lot of stuff.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to do this. It's been a couple of years we've been working at this. You know, finally we got to get your people together with my people, and we made it work, and hey, I'm super happy.
I'm here for you guys. You finally got me. Tag.
Yes, this is amazing, because we're going to have a conversation with a gentleman who really is a pioneer in the cyberspace or cyber internet shows and things of that nature. But also, too, he's a real hero in the production area, DJing area, and again, he's got a label and just got a lot going on. So, with that said, Gary, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dan. Nice to be on the show. Hello, everybody. You know, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been, like I say, a few years in the makings, and we're here. The best things are last, baby.
That's right.
Save the best for last.
Some things are worth waiting for.
There you go.
Yeah. So let's start off with the easy stuff. Just tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, that kind of your background, that kind of stuff like that.
Okay. I'm from actually originally from Newark, New Jersey,
Oh, the bricks.
Brick City.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born and raised right there in the Weekway section,
Okay.
which a lot of culture do come from the Weekway section.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as a lot of DJs, a lot of people I grew up with playing music was very heavy in the Weekway section.
Right,
You
right.
know, and everything globally branches out right now to worldwide since we have the thing called the internet. So
Mm-hmm.
things, you know, branch out even wider. But that's where my roots are. And started from Brick City. Now I'm located in Somerset,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I've been doing the music thing since I would say 79, 80.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So wow,
Uh,
that thing got a hold of you. You didn't it didn't let you go, huh?
yeah, man. It all started with the DJing. I was DJing for. I went to Arts High High
Okay.
School, and me and this guy, you may know him, DJ Spin, Dwayne Richardson.
Okay.
Nocturnal DJs, along with recording artist Cassio Ware.
Okay. Sure.
So with those guys, I started DJing doing parties for the high school, fashion shows and parties. Me and Dwayne Richardson
Okay.
and Caesar Kelly and a few other guys that we all graduated from Arts High. So we got into the music, then we branched off, and everybody started doing their own little things. You know, when you had to bring the turntables out, you know, you didn't have a lot of DJs. We didn't want to mess with them things, you know. And you have to, and the thing is, you have to spend money on music in order to be a good DJ. If you're not in the record pool, you got to spend some money.
Right. Right.
And mind you, you didn't have to have a lot of money, but I mean, your collection of what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
it reverts back to, you know, either you're in the record pool or you spend the money. And I like to go shopping all over, you know, all different places and get my music for, you know, I was always eccentric. I never liked, everybody going left, I want to go right.
Gotcha.
So that's how I play my music, you know.
Okay. Down to use tractor instead of Serato.
Yeah, I'm a tractor guy.
Now, how would I know that? Because I'm a tractor guy.
Oh, we trackies, man. We trackies.
You heard it.
But I love tractor because it's almost like you're engineering and mixing at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the sound card in it is excellent. So yeah. Tractor's been good with me, man.
Same here.
A little FYI, a guy by the name of Just Joe.
Who is it?
Just Joe.
Okay, I don't know.
Joe Brown. DJ Just Joe. So DJ Just Joe introduced me going digital because I was getting too much music. I'm tired of burning CDs and making double CDs.
Mm.
You know, putting stuff in the book. So it's like, you know, I have to go digital. So I was a little, you know, on the fence about, you know, playing on this little laptop.
Mm.
But after a while, you get used to it, and the advantages of it is that you can have your whole library, or most of your library at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So knowing the music is important. You can find what you want when you want to play. So, even with that, yeah, I enjoy playing, man. I've been playing since '79, so I enjoy it.
Okay. Now, how about some of your early music influences?
Early music influence, so, well, guys like Tony Humphrey,
Sure.
Hippie Torales.
Okay.
You know, I used to go on Fridays to the Paradise Garage, so of course Larry was in there.
Uh-huh.
You know, the Ted Pattersons,
Okay.
T. Scotts. So I'm an old head. So I mean, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie, my man Naeem Johnson,
Oh, what?
big influence.
Yeah.
That guy, it was in the struggle. I met Naeem years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, real cool brother.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the crowd goes into frenzies.
Yeah.
I love the way he played, but the thing is, he's connected with his listeners. He knows his listeners, so he connects with them very well. So he was an influence. My uncle Tony Vaughan, he played on BLS back in the mid '90s. He was influenced because he actually showed me how to play.
Okay.
He taught me how to, you know, spin music, the BPMs, tapping your foot, get the beats and everything. So it was very and he was very like insightful on, you know, playing music. As far as back then, it was more so considered pop, you know, because it wasn't really soulful or anything like that. It was, was not was, the Talking Heads, you know, you had all, and that's not considered club.
Right, our house,
You know, all that kind of, you had to be creative, and you wasn't riding no mixes for a long time because,
right.
believe me, with live instruments, they change up, so you be looking crazy.
Well,
But I loved it though, and then it was about timing back then. So different era, and I enjoy it, and that's why I don't mind. Everybody talk about the sync button these days. Listen, if I'm entertaining and I'm doing a show and I'm talking, communicating with the listeners, and I'm talking to people and looking for music and changing my OBS scenes, I don't have time to, have each beat line, making sure it don't fall off. And so the sync button, if you know how to mix, it's helpful.
Gotcha.
I look at it like that. And the sync button don't do the selection of music for you. And it may help you along with the beat, but then again, it's how you bring it in and how you present your music. So yeah, it's an interesting little fact that that's something that I wanted to just share with you guys. Everybody got a big issue about the sync button and about the laptops and the controllers, but listen, don't nobody want to lug all that equipment out the house these days. So it's convenience. DJing with convenience, All
right, I have just a few things that I want to make a few comments on, and it's interesting that you brought this up. First of all, Naeem was one of the first people to give me an interview when I first started doing this thing.
Really?
Talk about, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, because August was 8 years. And also he's from Weequahic also, as I understand.
See, this is my point. There was a lot of guys that Razmir,
sure, okay.
Me and Razmir, we lived right across the street from each other. Cassio was across the street, down the street from me.
Okay.
So all of these guys were in like a walking vicinity, walking distance from each other.
Here's another few other notes, because I'm listening and I'm like taking notes as we talk. So with me, laptops, I went kicking and screaming from vinyl to CDs, kicking and screaming from CDs to vinyl. Now, I originally had Virtual DJ, which I'm sure so many other people had. And what finally made me go from CDs to vinyl is I had it on my computer, and I DJ'd at this grammar school in Ramsey.
Right.
And what happened was it was raining. I was under the canopy, but it rained right all my equipment was shot.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Wow.
But that meant that the only thing I had another gig, I had a wedding that Saturday.
Wow.
Thursday morning. So my equipment was inoperable, but I did have the virtual DJ. I didn't really know how to work it that well, but I figured I could at least get through that process.
You get through that party.
Yeah. So I ended up doing that, and then I really never looked back. I was on virtual DJ for a while, then I stumbled on the Tractor, and I really, really, really liked that, even though I had a learning curve with it.
Native instruments.
Native instruments, exactly.
Native instruments.
Controllers. Yes. I laugh because, like, I have CDJs, but I'll tell you what, I don't really use them that much because, first of all, that stuff is very heavy, and you know what? Every time I played, except for one time when there were a room full of DJs, did anybody ever say anything about it, tease me about it? The audience never cared. Just play my music, and if you have a more educated audience, they're going to say, hey, mix the beats. But, I do a lot of open set. They don't even know, they wouldn't know if a beat, if it hit them in the head, backwards, whatever.
It's a social thing. I mean, if it's like you're throwing a party where you want people to come see you every Saturday or whatever, and you got a movement going on, like the soulful house music movement. And that's one thing. But if this is a gig for hire, people want, long as your system sounds decent and clean, the mic works.
Yes.
It's the journey. It's not the one trip. It's the journey how you get there. They don't care about all that.
Right. They
As
don't.
long as they got continuous music, you play some of their jams. They're good. They're gonna say the DJ was great. You know.
So I'm doing a gig on Monday, and I got to tell you, they have no idea as far as the beats go and the music. And you know, the fact that I could do it, you know, more importantly, did I play the music they wanted? Did it sound good? Did my mic sound clean? That's what they're gonna be paying attention. Right. Last thing, what's a four-letter word that starts with S? I know what you're thinking. Sync.
You said it. But yes, sync.
You might as well say the S word, the other S word, around a lot of DJs, because they feel that if you're not playing on CDJs, then you're not really a DJ. But you know, you gotta understand too. Like, think about this for a minute. You go out and buy 3,000s plus you get the 3 decks or whatever.
So you spend almost 10 grand for
talking 10 G's. Hey, what if A, you can't swing your 10 G's, B, your wife or your other partner or your husband is not having it, and you want to play? Do I say, well, I can't play because I can't go out and spend 10 G's on it? I don't think so. I think you should know how to play them, which it's not a bad thing.
Right.
But at the same time, the idea that you're not a real DJ unless you're playing on that.
People, you know what? I look at it this way. People always going to have an opinion of it.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's always got something to say. So, I mean, just keep pushing forward. Do what you do to build your brand. That's what it's all about. Build your brand. You know, I'm going to tell you, Francois K.
Sure. Okay.
He has Tractor.
Yeah, okay.
Francois been in the game for how long now?
Oh, listen, 30, 40 years? More.
40 plus.
Yeah,
not 30, 40, 40 plus.
On a disco thing. They had this disco documentary.
Yes.
And he was in I think it was him. Yeah, but he's been in the game for a long time. Francois. Yeah. 40.
He's a Tractor guy.
Yeah.
So quite a few people use Tractor because it plays the stem files and it's just phenomenal.
And now they have some. I'm sorry, I said Francois. Okay, that wasn't him in the video. It was somebody else. It was Kevorkian.
Danny no. That is Francois K. Kevorkian. That's him.
Okay. All right.
Same guy.
Okay.
Same guy.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, him also. Several other people we know. But anyway, how about this? Now, how did you get into soulful house music? How did you get into the house music thing?
Well, you know, these genres, they change by the day.
Okay.
So whatever you may have called soulful house music, as you notice, and you guys may not know, that the label that I own myself and David Lalla, Aqua Soul Recordings, we're a vocal-based label.
Gotcha.
So the vocals basically, they call them soulful, but it's just like, you know, that's the category that, you know, that's categorizing our music now. They call it soulful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like the R&B stuff, you know, the Luther Vandross, and they speed it up, and, you know, it's basically good vocal music, and they usually label it just soulful. Mm-hmm. But I got into that kind of music, I would say early 90s.
Okay.
When the Strictly Rhythm, you know, and you had Nervous and a few other labels, and then all of a sudden now King Street popping up, and the sound, it was more so house. Mm-hmm. So we were all playing house, and then the twist was the soulful house. Mm-hmm. So I guess the soulful mean that with the organs and the elements that strings it along, house is basically 4 to the 4. Soulful is when you add the organs, church organs, and do all that, and you know, you turning and spinning, and that's what they call soulful. I get that, and that's my interpretation. Everybody has their own interpretation, but I mean, I started playing pop music. No, actually, it started with hip hop. To be honest with you,
Okay.
back in the '80s, it started with the hip hop.
All right.
You know, I used to be in the room. I drove my parents crazy. I have one record, playing that record and trying to cut it back and forth, and I know to me, it sounded like I'm practicing. To them, it must have drove them crazy playing the same beat over and over and over till you get it right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you know, when I first started, this was the vibe. Everybody was into, you know, hip hop, and then the hip hop turned into, I should say, pop. A lot of pop and the old classics, mixing them together, and then it evolved into more so the 4 to the floor, and so forth and so on. Now you got 5011 genres out here that, you know, my thing is I like playing good music.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my thing. Whatever genre it may fall under, it falls under good dance music, and that's what I like to play.
Now, how about some of your favorite artists from back in the day and today's music, and where do you see this whole house music thing headed?
Well, the back in the day artists, I mean, we all know the Luther, the Teddys,
Mm-hmm.
the Harold Melvins,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what do we have? You know, those were the Aretha Franklins, and so yeah, I'm an old soul, but I mean, those are my influences right there.
Gotcha.
And a lot of that stuff, it influenced me even to produce, because as I produce music, you know, I look at certain things that I feel that I take a little pieces of certain classics, get ideas from them and how they structure the music, and then I incorporate that in some of my. Because a lot of times people tell you, hey, you can listen to all of my tracks. None of my releases sound the same. Every release that we do have its own entity. It's like we don't use a template. It's like we baking the cake from scratch.
Gotcha.
And whatever the ideas that come together, it'll fall right in. But yeah, the influences, those are some of the influences that I have. And being a DJ, man, there's just so many people, and I can't name them all.
No.
But there's a lot of influences that I have that got me to the point, you know, where I'm at right now as far as my motivation, and you know, it takes me there. And like I explained to the younger generation, when you playing the classics that we know and we grew up, you have to be there in order to experience what had happened in that point in life, where you hear that Teddy Pendergrass record and it could take you back to somewhere where you've been in a moment in life where it like, those were good times. But if you're a teenager and you're DJing and you play these songs, they have no connection, you know. So a lot of that music that's why you see people on the dance floor going crazy, because that music brings back memories for those who are old enough to appreciate that and to know that.
And you know, just a couple little points. You know, along those lines, Naeem does that very, very well. He will hit those tracks that you go, oh goodness.
And you say, that's, yeah.
And you know what though? Okay, so a couple of points that I just want to make here, because I'm like taking in everything you're saying here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, see, it will be 10, 20 years from now that the generation from now will have those songs that take them there. It's, oh yeah, when I heard that,
Yes.
so we got them now. And it's funny how each generation has their music. And
Right.
each generation, now, if you're not narrow-minded, then you say, if you're narrow-minded, you say, oh, that's garbage music. Anything that came after the point where you're at the high times of listening. But in my opinion, if you're a DJ, well-educated DJ, you go, okay, even though that's not my era, in terms of I was that age, I still can appreciate good music. And that's the real key, in my opinion. Then there's one other thing.
Now, Dan, what's good music to me and you may not be good music to a younger, because like I said, I go back to saying that it wasn't their generation. They have nothing to, to dial them back to a particular place. They may say, oh, this is a nice song, but, so everybody have a different opinion. But my thing is, read the room. If you're a DJ, you're supposed to read the room.
Exactly.
If the room is young, you may want to play some of that, I should say, the dance, what is that, reggaeton, or dance hall music.
Sure.
Because they like that, or either, they like that kind of stuff because that's more their era.
Right.
So that's why we play a lot of the R&B remixes that they can relate to. It'll have our beat, but the signature of the artist that they're familiar with, they'll react to that.
Right.
So it's just reading the room, man, when it comes down to playing music.
Yeah. Two other things I want, well, at least one that I can remember that I wanted to comment on. I came up, well, first of all, most of the DJs that have played house to a person came out of hip hop. I find that pretty interesting. All right. And then the other thing too that I just wanted to say is that mixing music from back in the day with the live instruments is tougher than mixing the stuff today. Today is a syncopated beat. You still got to line everything up. You still got to put it in the right place. But with the live drummer, you also had to add the fact that you had to, you knew that you intuitively or whatever, you knew that song was gonna fall off here. So that means you had to hit the record, big CD for those who don't know what a record is. You had to be right there to go with it. You really couldn't hit the sync button only because
you won't be able to use it because the record changes.
Exactly.
And the same way how you adjust the speed on your turntable.
Yes, exactly.
It's the same way you use a pitch control on your controller.
Exactly.
Now, and you can't ride things for a minute or two because
harder.
You'll sound crazy.
It's much harder. But now the other thing that I just to point out along those lines is that for me personally, so for the most part, I've been playing contemporary or more contemporary house music that was made with live drums before, compared to when they call it club, disco, that kind of stuff like that. And if I go to play that stuff now, I really, before I go live with it, because I do it like on one of my shows, I like to open up with a classic. And then I go and play today's music. But I need to tell you that I need to sit and practice with that sucker for a little bit. Even though they say, once you learn how to ride a bike, you never forget. But I got to tell you, you can be a little wobbly. So I
totally get it. I totally get it because my thing is a lot of times, especially when I'm playing that older stuff, it's a vibe that I get. Once I start rolling, and that's just something I never really practice my music. I get up there and it's where the wind takes me. And it's good to know your music because with the laptops and controllers, if I know titles, if I can't find it right away, it's in my hard drive. I'll type it up, the song will pop in, I drag it in my into my computer, and I'm rolling.
Yep.
Because educating and knowing, not saying, oh yeah, that record, no, you got to know artists, and once you know the artists or titles, it helps a lot because you can navigate through. I may be playing and hear something, ooh, I want to play this with this will be perfect, and it just came to me like that. But then again, it's like, okay, it's somewhere where I can't find it, but I know it's on that computer. Type it in, comes in, drag it in, boom.
Got it. Yeah.
You couldn't do that with records because you can't bring all of your records out the house. That's the disadvantage Listen, I had days when I used to carry out 10, 12 crates of records.
Listen, you know what I did? And I don't know if you know my buddy Henry. Henry used to carry 10, 12 crates of records. I only carried 3 crates of records, and I had a box of 45. And the way I did it was I really watched what people were reacting to on the dance floor. And I saw that this record, say by Billy Bob, every time I put it on, nobody was hitting or was leaving the floor. I'd take it out and I'd put something else in. That's how I got it down to 3 crates.
Yeah.
I remember we were going to do this party, actually for this high school. I forgot the name of it. But it was a high school on the other side of the tracks. And someone stole a crate of my records. And I had to play with 2 crates. And the way I was able to do it is because the system that I had that really worked for me. Now, right now, I have, I just going through today, I have like 90-something thousand songs on my hard drive.
Right.
Really, in actuality, if I had 3,000 or less, I could do any party if I was actually to go through them. But because the hard drive is so big, it's kind of like I don't get around to eliminating all the doubles unless I run into them. I don't clean it anyway. What about
but you know what, Dan? So I spend the week studying my music, right? And I can average out, I would say, and I'm not bragging or anything like that, but I can average out maybe 4,000 to 5,000 songs a month in all categories, right? But it's just a matter, having all that music don't mean jack if you don't study them. You don't pick certain gems out that it could be under a category that you're not even really used to, but you like the song, you can incorporate that into your show or into your mix, and that's what makes it like studying and doing your research.
Yeah.
And it seems like I love doing that. I don't like to play with a whole bunch of new stuff that I don't know what it is, because then I won't be able to get to it when I want to get to it. Right. You know, I'm skeptical of playing it if I haven't played it, or if it haven't touched me. And it's this thing I don't like to play. It's too much music to be playing something like what you call fillers.
Gotcha.
A record that's playing. I mean, that's what tracks are for. Right. Play a nice little hot track, because today people's attention spans is really short.
Right.
So you have to play music to keep their attention span going, and at the same time, you're creating your brand of how you want to play every week. You know, so you can take it whichever way. If it's classics, if it's like borderline DOR, dance oriented rock, you know, in with some Afro beats, you know, all of those things work, but it's how you work the crowd and the age of the crowd. Because if they're young and you play some Stevie Nicks or something like that mixed with an Afro track, yeah, it sounds good, but it's like, yo, what is this record?
What is it? Yeah.
How's he doing this? You know, so everybody's different. My thing is just be creative, love the music, and my only gripe with these people today with social media age, you got more people in the DJ booth taking pictures than you have on the dance floor.
Okay.
And that's a problem, because at one point, the whole thing was you get on that dance floor, you find a nice young lady you want to dance with, you cut the rug, maybe get a number and build that relationship. Today's society, you can't do that, because everybody got the cameras up and they focusing on the DJ, and nobody's on nobody's actually, I'm not saying nobody, but the crowd should be concentrating on the moment, because they lose the moment by trying to videotape the moment. Okay. So yeah, I you know, that's my big thing. But that's the way society is. Everybody want to have a camera and take the picture of that moment, whichever moment that may be, opposed to enjoying themselves, going out and dancing and having a good time and conversating instead of just videotaping and showing pictures to that people like, oh, look at me, I'm at this club, and you see the lights and everything. Yeah, I'm big time. You know, how many likes am I gonna get after I post this?
Okay.
That's the world we live in, man.
All right, so let me ask you a question, and then I'll move to the next question.
Sure.
Is that old school thinking? And you don't have to answer, but is that...
You know what? No. It's just the way I see it.
No, no, no. I got you. But I just
It's
want.
not. It has to be old school thinking. You know why? Because I'm old school.
Okay.
But I see. I was there when things wasn't like that, and now I'm here for this now, so I can compare. See, if you're young and you won't be able to compare because you wasn't there.
Got you. All right.
So when we came, our age group, we came in the music at a good time because club music, as far as clubs, period, they were just starting out in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So if you are starting out around the 70s and you take it to this day, you see how things have progressed all the way to where they are right now, and you can appreciate the journey.
Which is a perfect segue into my next question. Where is house music headed? Where's it going?
Well, the way I think, if I'm not mistaken, from what I see, Jersey have put their foot in their stamp on having a big influence on house music because of the outdoor events.
Okay.
That's one of the main reasons, and I think the direction that is going in a very positive direction. People like to dance. They like to the expression of how they dance to this kind of music, how they gravitate to this music that we play. They want to go out and see these DJs for free on the weekends because in the summertime, even into the fall, somebody's doing a house music event, and you got more and more people say it can't be denied, put it that way. So it's no longer what you call underground because we came from the underground to the surface. Now it's like we'd say mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So underground is the dance music, house music right now is in a very positive direction that I see.
Okay.
And moving forward, yes, a lot of influence on now. Hip hop is hip hop, but like you say, where did it start? It started from hip hop, and they turned to house.
Okay.
Huh?
You know, all right. You know what's interesting? You mentioned this, and I want to keep it moving, but Logan, you keep saying so many things that causing so many thoughts. So,
I'm sorry, man. I mean, it took you this long to get this interview. I got a lot to say.
And you know what? And I'm like, oh yeah. And now what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And you know, this made me think of this.
I know we got to cut it. We got to cut it, keep it in the guideline. But when you talk about something that you love, that's dear to your heart, conversations get long.
Listen, it's good. It's all good because we don't have a timeline like that. All right. But here's what's pretty interesting. You mentioned all the outdoor free events. Do you think it has a positive or a negative impact on the paid events? The reason being because, okay, so why should I pay to see Billy Bob this weekend when I can see him or her and in the next 2 weeks they're going to be outside playing? What's your thoughts on that? And then the other thing too, remember back in the day, there was no 2-hour sessions. There were like, you got there at 9 and you left there at 3. or like I used to play in New York and I would start at 8 and I'd finish 4 in the morning. So I guess I asked you a loaded question. This is so good and this is worth waiting for, like I say, because these are, anyway.
Hey, Dan, check this out. So I love to see, like, the internet spoiled so many people. What I mean by that is, look at what the timeline that most DJs play when they do sets, when we was having, like, when you're playing on a site, more so than Twitch, but when you're playing on a site, you have a thing where you play for roughly a 2-hour set. DJs from, especially overseas and other places, they have 8 and 10-hour sets. How can you possibly, do you have enough music to entertain someone for 8 to 10 hours, number one? Number two, how would you keep their attention span for, I would say, even if you did a 5-hour set, Dan, without playing the same things back and forth and reiterating yourself, how would you go in there and play and keep people's interest and tell that story to the crowd and don't burn out of, like, you played all your hot shit in the first, excuse the language, everybody, all of your hot stuff in the beginning of, you know, the first couple of hours, and then now it's like, okay, where do I go now? You know, and I would love to see more people, you know, the DJs that's online, to really do extended sets, just so we can see this. I want to hear the story that other guys have to tell. You know, not just play hot stuff and then turn around and say, okay, you went there, but now how do you take it back down to maybe like a 113 BPM, build it back up, and don't stay at a 124 all the way through? Or you know what I'm saying? Because the sync buttons, you kind of tend to, using the sync buttons, you can forget. You start sounding monotone because all of your that separates a live DJ that's playing in the clubs opposed to the DJ that's playing on the internet. Because once you get stuck with a BPM and you kind of stay within that, but when you're live and you're playing at the clubs, you go from 113 back up to 120, 124, 126, back down to, so you're telling the story. You're not like burning people out because they're reading the room and you have to learn. That's being trained how to, you know, play music. But the DJs, some of the DJs, I'm not mentioning all DJs, there's some great DJs out here that needs the exposure, that needs to have, that need to be heard by the masses. And, you know, my thing is, we said the thing, I think this is what really blew the outside, you know, events up. Guys were complaining that they wasn't getting their fair shake and nobody's paying attention, so they started their own party. And that's what everybody was telling you, but look where it came. Now you have every place in the summertime, every park in Jersey and other places, they're already booked for next year because people want to have their outdoor event in there to present to everybody because they're creating their own avenue. And people are going from party to party because it's free. And they want to sit out there with their coolers and their bench, their beach chairs, and just enjoy some music. But yes, it does. To answer your question, it ruined it for the nightclub because nightclubs normally shut down at 2.
Right.
Over in Jersey. But outdoor events is like, what, starting at 12, going on to 10. You got all day to listen to music.
Right. And after that, you're tired, you go home, and that's that. I got you.
Now, I'm only speaking in Jersey. I'm not speaking of Brooklyn. Because
Gotcha.
Brooklyn, they got the nightlife sewn up.
Gotcha.
I mean, they go into wee hours of the morning.
Right.
You know, but, you know, like over here, we got to shut it down at a certain time.
Right. Now, so you and your crew was some of the first, if not one of the first people to play online. Talk to us about it, and what do you think of how this thing is spreaded? What's your take on it?
To me, I miss my calling.
Okay.
Because myself and DJ Tony Gray.
Okay.
He started internet.
In Carolina now. Got you.
Right. He's in the Carolinas, and they started the movement out there. Out there, him and his wife, Tawana.
Go on. Yeah,
But what I'm saying is, we started internet in 2000, and we used to videotape people coming to the house. We had Antoine Qua, Jihad, T. Mallory, a host of DJs, Ruben Toro, will come to the house, and we'll videotape the sessions. And then we'll upload. So today the feed is direct now. You don't have to upload anything. But back then, that's what we were doing. We were videotaping shows, and then we'll put it up on the site. The site back then was called Fade to Gray. And it all started when Tony Gray, we was at meetings, and I would say this had to be, early 2000s. We was at these meetings, the house music, and there was a big beef about New York cats coming over to Jersey playing, and Jersey is not getting the same love going over to New York to play. So we had this big meeting, Chris Flowers and everybody, host of DJs, and then it was brung up in the meeting. Tony Gray brung it up. He said, well, listen, I want to start something different called the internet radio. Now that is totally unheard of. Unheard of. If you was to say something like that back then, it's like, yo, man, she said, Tone, this is time and place for everything, and this ain't the time and place for it. So I got with Tone after that. I said, yo, man, that sound interesting. Let's go over what we need to do. Mm-hmm. And he built the site, the website, and we was able to videotape the shows and get it started. So that started blowing up. And we moved the party to Club Eclipse, where we'll have the DJs come to the club and we'll videotape the DJs playing in the clubs, and then we'll run it back onto the show, onto the site. So that was the thing that we was presenting to the world. But back then, I knew very little about computers. So if you didn't have the right bit rate and all that other stuff, the picture would take a while to load up, and it'll frustrate you so where you didn't want to watch anything on the video because it take forever to load up.
Gotcha.
I didn't know about the bit rates and megabytes and all this other stuff. You know, that was all foreign to me. Gotcha. But we approached it. Now, if I would have said, or we would have said, let's talk to a business person, copyright this thing, and patent it some kind of way where anybody use it, my mind wasn't there. I was just happy to be doing something new.
No, I got you.
So it was a missed opportunity, but look where it's at now.
Hey, I mean, unfortunately, you couldn't, didn't get a piece of the pie, but I guess you must be kind of happy that vision that you and Tony had, and
not too many people know about. I'm glad we had this interview. I mean, for those who are listening, that is the real deal. Mm-hmm. So some of these guys that I just mentioned, you can go up to them and ask them, and they'll tell you, yo, yeah, they had something going on for a minute, and things evolved, and then you start having people having websites that's putting like Beattown Sound, Face to Base Records, Face to Base Internet Radio Show, and Jersey DJs. I was a part of Jersey DJs back then. And, the internet started blowing up. People wanting to play and setting up. Matter of fact, that was before even the cameras, because it was just the audio. We never had the video. And then a little bit later on down the road, video came into play.
Right.
So, yeah, it was just like you just had the sound. It wasn't,
Here's another... Yeah. Wherever you're sitting, the light is not as good as it was before.
Oh, hold up.
I want to ask you a question that popped into my head as we were talking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Like when you were closer, it seemed like it's better. Okay. All right.
Give me a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But you know what? So, this popped into my head as we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, Facebook has this nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. And people put up the thing, oh yeah, I don't own the copyrights and all this kind of stuff like that.
Don't matter.
Which
don't matter.
No different. It's not going by, it's going by algorithms.
Right.
So explain to people who don't know. I mean, I know, and they do it to me all the time, but I just won't play. And then I run it on Twitch too. But I know what it is, but explain to people what is happening while they're slowing it down, while they're muting it out, what's going on, and explain. But wait a minute, it's copyright. So yeah, but I own the music. Yeah, it's copyrighted, but I'm exposing the music. It's copyrighted, but what difference does it make? Talk to us as a person
it's
in that business of making that music.
They're about business.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of what we like to do, what we're trying to do, it doesn't matter. It's about dollars and cents. Mm-hmm. And if they have it where they want, allegedly, the artists to get compensated for people playing their music on the internet. So what Twitch started doing, Facebook started it first. So they was on the thing of getting shut down. So what they'll do is they'll mess up your stream so much, it's like, oh, you got to be crazy to continue to record, and everybody's going to hear it the record speed up, slow down. They did it purposely
Right.
because they couldn't come after every individual, but they can't mess up your stream when the algorithms come in. Twitch, you can listen to the whole show at one point, and I was able to host my show after. And what they'll do is certain songs with certain, algorithms. When they play, it would automatically mute until the song goes off, and then see. And the good thing about me, I play a lot of new music, so that stuff is not even charted yet.
Recognize.
Fortunately, but when I go to the classics, forget it. But now we're able to play unadulterated on Twitch because you have to join a DJ. You have to sign up on a DJ page. And what they do is they charge you a little bit. They take a little bit out of your earnings to pay for copyrights.
Gotcha.
Even though Amazon owns Twitch, Amazon has a streaming license.
Right.
But I guess they are tired of footing the complete bill. So they want the DJs to foot some of the bills. That's why you got to agree to that, or if you're not a part of the DJ page on Twitch and join, what'll happen is they would ban you as a warning, and then they would just take down your page. So these are the things. It's like you want to play online, you got to surrender to our rules.
Gotcha.
And if you don't want to surrender to what we got going on, then we're going to ban you or either take down your page. So you have no choice. You have to open up a whole new page under another alias and go on that way. But then how long would that last? So it's a financial thing, and it doesn't matter what we think. And matter of fact, Francois K, when it first, I would say about some 3-4 months ago, when this thing was coming down the pike, most people knew it was happening because Facebook was doing it, and Mixcloud, and it's with all of the streaming. It's not just Twitch. It's Mixcloud. It's wherever you can stream music. It's the same way. They all went into a contract to where everybody has to sign this agreement in order to have your music played. Now, I know Twitch. I don't know the other sites. I know YouTube is the same way. They'll mute your stuff. But Twitch, now that you join the page, you're able to play classics or whatever you want to play. But the thing is, you can't save your music. Like, you can't save your mix and have people go back. So, that's the downside about that. But hey, I mean, you're still on. You can still, have your brand being played, play your music that you want, express yourself how you want to. Okay? Because originally Twitch was a gamer site, and they may play bits and pieces of music, but they're not doing everybody's songs like the DJs are.
Gotcha.
So that's the best of where I can explain, without going into all of the details,
All right. So let's talk about production. How long you been making music? How you get into it? And what were some of your early and the current influences?
Well, we started the label. We started making music probably 2006. But we started with the edits and remixes. So we did before we even got the label, we did the Rhyme and Reasons that we sold to Shelter. And we did the Love Philosophy that we sold to Big C, God rest his soul. Consortium Music, that was back in the day. Because the story be told that Big C reached out to me. And he reached out to me and said, Logan, Timmy is trying to jack your record. I said, what do you mean? So Timmy had, I guess, I don't know, whoever was the keyboard guy back then, play some keys on a song that we already did and called it his own. So before he was going to put that out on Fallout Records, we were able to put it out on Consortium Music. And on the flip side, that was even, the Love Philosophy was a record. We produced that thing, and it went all the way to number 2 on TrackSource. TrackSource got scared and took us down the first week that it was up. because it was a remix. So at that time, you know, it's like, oh, you guys got copyright. Sony, they didn't want to get in trouble by Sony because Jamiroquai was a part of, he's a part of Sony. Mm-hmm. And what happened with that is we put the record out and it became a cult when they snatched it because people couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. That made that record even more popular. It went to number 2. Mm-hmm. Back then, we had over 200-300 sales in 1 week. Because at the time in 2008, 2007, we didn't even have the record label. But when we did put it out on Traxsource, when we did in 2008, it went crazy. And Kissing Strangers was the only track that was above our track. So it went very well, and they took it down, and people was trying to get it sold. Sold our records in the UK, I believe they are from. Bought the record, we licensed it to them, and put it on vinyl. And Black is the Color, which is Trinidadian Deep. He did that song, and we did the Love Philosophy and the dub mix on the vinyl. And that sold pretty well. Mm-hmm. So that song, from that point on, we did the Casios. His first song we had, I Love You, was on Aqua Soul. That came out 2008. We had Dawn Tolman, Dawn Williams. Not Dawn Williams, I'm sorry, Dawn Nicole. Okay. We have, we had a host of others, but the most recent stuff we did was the Pam Weathers, which I gave you guys a copy to run on the show. Mm-hmm. Her and Anaya Weathers did a song, Family Ties.
Right.
And it became very successful. I think we had at least 20 people charted, which was a blessing because, you know, it's a family-oriented song, but it's real musical and it has good meaning. Mm-hmm. And I think that at our label at Aqua Soul, we're trying to create future classics.
Gotcha.
Songs and where you'll play them today and you can play them 10 years from now, and they still sound good. And one of the reasons why they sound so good is our engineer, Louis R. Rivera. You know, that came from KISS. He was an engineer, and he engineers our records. So this way that the way they sound and how good they sound comes out, you know, through him. So we do all the mix downs, we go to the studio, put everything together, and then we'll send it over, and that's where the magic happens. So our releases, Family Ties, we did the Derek Givens, I Love You, Miss House Therapy, Uplift Me, Anaya Weathers, I Am Anaya. We did a song with Ambrosia. Funny thing about that, we did the Ambrosia, say a year or 2 years. We did the initial one, and it did good, but it didn't make the noise. Danny Krevitt picked it up, did a nice little edit. He said, listen, guys, I did a nice edit. I love the song, but I arranged the front a little bit to give it more of an intro, this, that. Next thing I know, the record went crazy. Shot up the charts. Same song, he just did an edit.
Gotcha.
So who you have on your, you know, the face, the name, it matters. Same song, he didn't change any instrument. He just did a nice little edit to it. And the record now is doing very well. So, yeah, so we got artists. We did something with Ed Ramsey. We did a lot of stuff with Big Moses. E-Man, we did a song with. Lisa Pure, you know, Crystal Lavelle, Marsha, Songbird, Derek Givens. We did a song with Seductive Sapphire.
Okay.
We did releases with her, with Kim Beecham. We did a release with Walter Christopher. Who else do we have? Stephanie Cook.
Okay.
Just to name a few. So yeah, we have quite a bit. We have quite a bit of releases that we put out over the years. And like I say, I enjoy. See, everybody. I have a thing where you play your lane, right? Everybody have a particular lane, from the DJs to the producers. So if one highway is saturated, like if the DJ highway is saturated, then you find another lane and you take that lane. And that's when I said, listen, I want to start producing music, you know, and I want to start putting things out. So I'm playing other people's songs all the time. I want to be able to make my own. And so myself and Dave Lalla, we got together. We started making records.
Now I am curious, what kind of software do you use?
Logic Pro. Well, actually now it's Logic 11, the most updated version. But that's our DAW is Logic Pro.
I'm just curious. You know, you answered a lot of questions here already, so I'm just gonna follow down a little bit more. Do you write or sing, and are you on the lookout for artists at this point?
We are always on the lookout for good writers and good good singers.
Okay.
Because we have tracks, and like I said, that's how we do our business work for hire. So we get into the studio first. We give them the track, let them write to it. They give us some samples of what they got going on, and if we like what's going on, we'll hit the studio. Right. And then we'll discuss contracts of what their royalty, publishing, and everything, and the artist normally gets paid. And we're no nonsense. We take care of business. We don't shuck and jive nobody. We make sure that we negotiate a price. And it's in the contract. Everything is written in the contract, so where there's no misunderstanding. You have your contract. It's the work for hire. We'll promote the song, and most of the songs we do usually make the top 100. At least 90% of the songs that we do is somewhere on. I guess TrackSource got a soft spot for us, but we've been with them for a long time. And, a lot of respect from our TrackSource and their family out there, our TrackSource family. We've been there since 2008. They treat us very well. And we try to put together, future classics so people can enjoy the tunes and play them down the road and, enjoy it.
Okay. So you said you're looking for new artists. Me.
Nah, Dad. How did he say, But if you know someone, okay, Dan, if you know someone that they want to, then
you know what?
You can hit me up on Linktree. So the Linktree is https:/linktr.ee.
Okay.
/Jersey Soul.
Speaking of this, I met this guy. I still have his information, and the way that I met him was unfortunate, but honest to goodness, if Teddy Pendergrass couldn't make it that day, you could put this guy in here, and I'm telling you, this guy's incredible. I still have his information. Let's see if I can make a connection here. And he was doing, and also, and the guy came back, and as I remember, he did something that sounded like Al Green. I'm like, this guy is talented, but he was a singer at a funeral. He sings at funeral, like it's church or whatever. But when I tell you, I got his name. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna hit him up. I hope his number still works if I can track him down, and I want to make the connection. That's
excellent, Dan. Just ask him when you connect with him. It helps if he's a writer.
Okay, I'll ask him.
Because when you try to narrow down your fees, paying someone to write, and then paying someone to deliver, we try to cut down the fees because as far as me and Dave, it's our business, and we have the business together, but it helps out a lot because it's a lot of moving parts in making a good song, and the investments in the song can run anywhere between $600 to $1,500 a release.
Got you.
So it becomes an expensive hobby. And then when it comes to sales, you're gonna get a lot of people. You get digital downloads, but it's not crazy. I mean, after the promo session of the release, then you may get 5 or 6 people a month may buy the song, and like that. But in the first month, you get a lot of sales. But after that, it's so much music coming out every day.
Yeah.
The attention span of the consumers is like you play the record twice, maybe 3 times, you really like it, and put it on the back burner, and that's it.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can connect with this guy since you guys don't think I got the goods.
Listen, man, we're gonna try. So if that works out, we're gonna definitely give you big shouts on that.
Okay.
Because listen, a Teddy Pendergrass is a rare commodity for someone to bring it that that strong.
And then I know this other guy, but he was doing gospel, and he sounded more like LeVert. So I'll see if I can reconnect with both of them. It's been several years, but I'll see if I can reconnect and help connection. These guys are super talented. Oh,
that would definitely work.
Right. Yeah, let me
and yeah, we always search for talent, and we'll keep it open. You can check me out through, like I said, my link tree on my Facebook, Gary Logan. So you can check out the Facebook page. Oh, also wanted to let you guys know I have music on Bandcamp.
Okay.
It's under Jersey Soul Globe Music. So I have Bandcamp releases outside of the track source releases. I mean, you can catch me at any one of those. And I'm currently working, right now, my projects are currently working on a remix to the Derek Givens. I have someone you guys may know in the field, Tiger Wilson.
I know Tiger Wilson.
So Tiger's doing a mix that we're going to be coming out in January with a remix, hot remix alert.
Okay.
He's gonna, and also Louis R. Rivera. So those two is gonna be like a little mini EP remixes. When I tell you fire,
okay,
fire in the hole.
All right, keep
something coming out for 2025.
Keep me in the loop. All right.
I would definitely do that, Dan. And like I said, is there anything else you may want to know about me?
Questions.
Cover everything.
Yeah. I just got a few more questions, and then.
Okay, man.
Yeah. Okay. So, DJing. A lot of people don't know that you DJ. How long you been DJing? You kind of mentioned it. Again, early DJ. You mentioned that already. And then I was going to ask you, do you love DJing or producing, label owner more? But
okay.
What's your response to that?
So, we had a party back in, I would say, 2014 to 16. And we played I played at a spot, me and Dave, called Club Armory.
Okay.
Right on Sussex Avenue.
Okay.
Just before, remember the party that Chris Flowers was doing, Think Soul?
Okay.
Think Soul was a party so that party was similar to how we did our party, but we did our party first, and then Think Soul came along, and they started doing their thing. So their party was Monday, and our party was Tuesday.
Gotcha.
And long story behind that is that the Think Soul party, like our party, I had a guest DJ, an artist perform once a month. Every month I had a roster where I had a different DJ, an artist, and then I would have me play one night and Dave would play one night. So we had a successful party back then, and we had everybody in there from New York and New Jersey coming over to the Armory to play. They had a system by Shorty. So Shorty, DJ Shorty. They had a Richard Long kind of system in the bar.
Okay.
Which was crazy.
Okay.
But like before Club Elevations and all of them, Barry, Dip, and all of them used to come to our spot at the Armory.
Okay.
We had Colonel Abrams there.
Okay.
When we did a Winter Music Conference party. Casio performed, Jihad DJ, Ruben Toro was there, Robbie the promoter. We had a lot of people come through, and it was a Tuesday night. Like that was a good time for music, and I do weddings and parties, but to these days, people don't want to pay the price these days. And to be honest with you, I really don't mind because I rather play on the internet and I play out. Don't get me wrong, but if I had to do a gig, you know, people get funny. Oh, what am I going to get for this and what am I going to get for that? Listen, I pride in my craft, and I don't undersell myself because I'm bringing out quality equipment, expensive equipment, and for me to be lugging stuff, you know, it's like, yeah, it's going to have to cost a little bit.
Yeah.
Not crazy, but it's going to have to cost a little bit. And like I said, I just did a party about 3 weeks ago, and it was in Neptune, New Jersey. And my cousin Kevin was supposed to have came to help me out, but he got caught up with some traffic, and I had to get rolling. So lugging that stuff out of my house from my basement to my truck to the place, setting up, playing, breaking it down, bringing it back to my house. Yes. Coming all the way from Neptune. Do I like doing that? No. I'd rather just have everything set, bring my thumb drive or whatever, bring my headphones and rock. But, I mean, you know, this is the reason why. But then you tell them certain price and people frown. They're like, oh, okay, I'll call you back. And then they don't call. So, I don't mind because I'm blessed. Thank God I'm retired. I get a pension. I work. Nice 401k. I'm good.
Gotcha.
I do it because I love to do it. And if you want me to play, I'm going to make sure you have a great time. System is going to be sounding great in the whole thing. But I'm kind of like a proud kind of guy, man. I don't ask people to come on to their scenes and, yo, let me play with you over here. Let me play with, and then they'll tell you, oh, I didn't think you played. What, you thought I just played in front of my computer? Come on, I've been doing this for a very long time. And I don't mind playing during my show. I'm comfortable.
Right.
You know, I'm comfortable. But if I have to go out and play, sure. I mean, I'll go out and I'll rock it. It's not a problem. I have fun doing it.
Gotcha.
But like I say, you know, it's just I just don't like be calling people up. Yo, man, put me on your roster. Put me, you know, I want to play with you guys over here. If I'm making music and you know, and it's like to offer, like, hey, man, we doing this event. Would you be interested? Let's talk.
Gotcha.
Conversation.
Gotcha.
That's it. So that's basically it. And like I said, I love to play. I mean, you know, wherever I love to play, but you know, given the opportunity, if it's not there, I keep it moving. Like I say, the statement I made, everybody play their lane.
Right.
I play my lane until a situation come up, and if it's attractive enough for me, sure, I'll come out and play. Treat me, respect me like you do Joe Cassell and all these other guys when they come out to play. I mean, that's it. It's not a lot to ask for.
Right.
I'm not going to hit you up with the prices they charge.
Right.
But, you know, and I respect those guys. They've been doing it, and they got to that level, and they should be getting paid that kind of way.
Gotcha.
But, you know, that's just me, man, you know. I love researching my music and playing my music and getting reactions of people, you know, that really like what I do. And, you know, I'm blessed.
All right. Let's get down to Aqua Soul. Just talk to us about it, what it is, how long you've been doing it, and anything you want to share about it. What should we know about Aqua Soul?
Well, the label, like I said, started in 2008.
Okay.
And we have over 20-something, no, actually 50-something releases.
Okay.
On the label over the years since 2008. My goal for that is, our goal was a vocal-based record label. So we like to put out, and we like to salute the artists.
Gotcha.
We like to bring out vocalists and bring out good music, not just a track. That's what I have my Bandcamp paid for. If I want to put out tracks, I'll put it out on the Bandcamp. But for Track Source exclusively, it's vocal based. You know, we're all about our artists. You know, and then it's work for hire. It's not like we have artists tied in the basement and like you can only deal with us. No, you have the choice. You can go where you want to go.
Gotcha.
But, you know, for the most part, you're going to be represented in the correct way.
Gotcha.
You know, and my ultimate goal is, as far as the business, and even Dave, is that when it gets to a certain time, we're working on it now, so where the business, we can give it to our kids and money will still go into accounts for them.
Gotcha.
Every time somebody want to buy any one of our releases, the money will go straight into the bank account, which they'll be able to. And so I'm like handing the business over. We'll probably sell a business, but keep certain shares in the business where it stays in the family.
Gotcha.
So that's the goal with Aqua Soul. And like I say, the label's been around since '08, and we've been pretty good. Most of the releases are in the top 100, and we're pretty happy. Like I said, Traxsource really take care of us. So big shouts to them again.
Well, we're right down to the wire. Any final thoughts, lessons learned, or anything that you want to share? And if people want to reach you, how do they do it?
Well, if you want to reach me, like I said, the link tree,
Okay.
you know, the https://linktr.ee/Jersey Soul. Once you click onto that link, it'll take you to every one of my contacts, from the IG to the Facebook to the Bandcamp, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, everything.
Okay.
So you can reach me there, and my goals and aspirations are basically, you know, playing good music and being free with it, being able to free express myself, presenting people, like I say, sometimes I get a lot of stuff directly from the producer's hands before it's like stuff that may not even be out. And if it's good, I'll present them. And what I like to do in all seriousness is to recruit some of these producers, like when I do releases, and say, hey, we got a release out. I need you to do a mix. So now their name, they have a platform for their name could be seen. On a Traxsource is more of a super highway, and everybody is watching what's going on Traxsource as far as if you're a DJ. So giving producers an opportunity, we wanted our record label to grow. And, you know, we want to make sure that if we had 5 or 6 producers that's in our camp that's doing remixes or putting out releases themselves, they can put it out through the label. Treating it as not so much a personal tour, but treating it as a record label.
Gotcha.
Buying and selling releases. You know, not only do we make music, but we buy and sell releases. You know, so that's one of the goals, you know, that we have. That's one of the aspirations, one of the goals that we've been solid with. My partner, Lalla, he's very low key, but, you know, down to earth in his music knowledge. He's a little bit younger than me. His music knowledge is up there because he used to work for Roger Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was his A&R guy, so he took care of all of his agendas. And that's where I met Dave in the Winter Music Conference back in early 90s. You know, from that point on, we started clicking and started doing the remixes, and before you know it, we was putting stuff up on SoundCloud, a lot of our remixes, and from that point on, I said, yo, we need to start making music. Boom, the record label came along, and that's how everything really, you know, jump-started.
Last question. All right, as we come in for a soft landing. So what's the biggest lesson you've learned, and or if you say, hey guys, if you're following me, or if you want to get into this business, or here's something everybody should know, what's the biggest lesson you've learned over the years?
Well, the biggest lesson that I would suggest is before you go into anything, you do a little research. You have to be yourself. Long as you know certain things about the direction that you want to go, and then be honest and be yourself, and don't let people tell you what you can't do. Go up there and do it. Do what you love to do. Once it stop being a passion, then it's work. Gotcha. And music is never fun when it's work. So you go up there, treat it, whatever you do, if it's producing music, produce with fun and with passion. Not I need to put out 20 releases in a month because I'm working on catalog, but you're not working on quality. You're working on quantity. Mm-hmm. So we always pick quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. And know as much as you can about whatever you get into is the second thing. So you're not being taken for granted, you know. And with that being said, that's the two main things that motivates me: being honest, being free to do what I need to do, and let me tell you, expensive. This thing is expensive to produce music. Don't tell everybody don't do it because everybody it's hard to afford that. Trying to afford $1,000 a release. I mean, everybody just don't. And we're blessed being my partner to able to do that. But it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't know when they're making music. I mean, you know, when you're making music and you want original music. Right. The original music is, you know, we don't do a lot of the remixes. We have one or two, but we don't do a lot of remixes. We do a lot of original projects on Opera Soul recordings. Gotcha. So, you know.
I believe, too, something unspoken is that you got to really put time, effort, and have patience, too, for that. I mean...
That's another thing.
It seemed like to me, like, I tell you what, and I'm going to close with this. You know, I bought Ableton Live in 2014, the full suite.
Yeah.
I could get the upgrade, the 5.1, etc. I bought Logic easily 4 years ago. I have Native, like I have like some of the major programs that you can make. Right. But to be honest with you, all I could really do was turn it on, because after that, it takes a lot of time and energy and effort. You gotta totally focus.
You do, and the focus that I had, and here's another thing too. By 2025, I made it my effort to make sure I joined into a college or go to school for engineering.
Gotcha.
That's something I've done it by other people showing me and by doing it and picking up certain things. But it's like I need to know the language, the jargon of the reason why certain things happen. Not only because I know the pan this left, pan this right, you know, leave room for when you master, all of the basic stuff, but there's other things involved in, like I want to be able to get the aha moments when I go to school. Like I do certain things for so long, it's like, oh, so this is why, you know, knowing your frequencies and everything else when you're doing music, so certain instruments won't pan itself or fade itself out. You know what I'm saying? In the mix, like you can't have two shakers on the left side, because, and you listening to it, you're only going to hear one because the fact that they're on top of each other.
Gotcha.
So it's just little things that, you know. And I said, and as far as cutting down the middleman, that's another thing to save expenses. Now we have our guy do our engineering, but it's just something that I said I'm definitely going to want to learn how to do myself, because I have a lot of equipment as far as the studio. I got the Macs, the towers, the screens, the computer, everything I need, the programs. I got the MK3s for making my beats. I have all of that. But all of that does not matter if you're not using it properly.
Gotcha.
So YouTube will show you a lot, but I want to be able to like take notes, be in front of a teacher, ask some questions and things that I've been answering, and then, you know, do some research on it, write some notes, take a test, because I'm interested. So, you know, you do very well in things that you are adamant on trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And this is one of the goals that I'm trying to accomplish. I told my partner, Dave, what I need you to do is get you some kind of program for graphics to learn that. When we need to make flyers and we need to make graphic stuff for the label, your money is going out. Mm-hmm. So to save money on making music, these things are, and if I got to invest whatever it costs for however many hours in school that I may need to get a diploma. This is something that I want to be able to put up on the wall and say, hey, I have a degree in this. You know, I have a diploma in this. Not only because I do it, you know, because I hear a lot of people's music, and some of the stuff is like, yo, it's a very good song, but the way they mix it down is like, it could have been better.
Gotcha.
You know, so some songs you know it. Some songs you don't even want to play because it just sounds bad.
Right.
So I want to be able to understand a lot. That's why we have someone mix our stuff down. Not saying that I couldn't do it, but I want perfection. And when people buy it, I believe that when you stand behind your brand, you want your brand and your sound to sound, you know, top notch.
Gotcha. All right. Well, listen. Thank you so much. This has been worth the wait.
Oh man, listen. You know, thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
And you guys keep doing what you do. It's very important that people get the stories, get the information, and spread it around other people that may not know how this person is feeling. You know, towards the industry, towards other DJs, and just getting basic knowledge. You know, because we used to congregate at the record stores. We don't have record stores.
Right.
So that's when you're able to really sit down with someone that you normally don't see all the time, and you can chop it up with them, you know, because everybody's not on I'm going to give you a call, because, you know, this is a text world now. Everybody shoot text.
Right.
I enjoyed myself, man, and
thank you so much.
you guys, peace and blessings, man. You guys are the best.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Logan, DJ, producer, label owner, entrepreneur. You didn't say you're a notary public, right? You didn't say that, right?
Nah, man.
Okay.
Tell him I'm a Democrat. Oh, man. But you guys have a blessing, man.